This video is about how to maintain Bandler's cybersecurity program, doing it yourself. And I'm John Bandler. This is for you to maintain and improve Bandler's cybersecurity program, which you have already implemented in your organization. If you haven't implemented it yet, see my other video first. Now, every organization needs good cybersecurity. Almost every organization needs a cybersecurity program, and once you have that program, you need to keep improving it. Now, not every organization can afford professional help or has the in-house expertise, so this is for those organizations that cannot afford it, and we've got the green dot here that's indicating where we are. Green for good, but we still need to keep improving, keep moving forward. So again, you should have already, before watching or acting on this video, you should have already built my free cybersecurity program, or maybe you engaged me to build it for you using my system. Put a check on that you already started with nothing and built something, and you took that red dot, right? When you were at nothing, at zero, that was a red dot, and you built something, you moved it forward. Now we're at that green dot, but we can't stop forever. We have to keep improving. So when you built my cybersecurity program, you implemented my cybersecurity policy, either a free version or a paid version. You designated someone to be in charge. You trained every organization member on your new policy. You looked for areas of improvement. And now some time has passed, and it's time to maintain it, to review it, to improve it. Why did I create this video and the companion webpage? I made a free version of my cybersecurity program as a way for others to implement it, including people who cannot afford to hire anyone. Now, once they implement a cybersecurity program, every cybersecurity program needs to be maintained and improved. You can't forget about it or it's worthless. You have to keep using it and improving it. And this is the free framework so people can maintain it. Now, I have also built cybersecurity programs for clients. Sometimes we keep working together over the years, but sometimes not. Maybe they can't or don't want to keep paying for cybersecurity services. So this is a way for them to continue to maintain the program I built with them. Here are some steps to maintain and improve. So you have the overview, and then we're going to talk it through. Repetition and reminders are important, and they're important all places in life, but especially with cybersecurity. People forget, organizations forget what their policy, what the rule is, what they are supposed to be doing. We want to remember the goals of cybersecurity, that 30,000-foot view where we want to go. We want to review our policy meaning our internal rule, the rule of the organization. Review updates I've made to my free policy. You might want to incorporate those. Confirm someone is in charge in your organization on cybersecurity. Train people. Look for ways to improve. That's the basic steps. Recap, Bandler's cybersecurity program. There's policy, guidance, the 4 Pillars of Cybersecurity. That's my logo for that. And I give guidance. That policy is important. Free version is available. Maybe you're using it. My terminology is consistent. Materials. And remember, it requires effort and work. There is no magic button for cybersecurity. And our touchstone, especially here, is continual improvement. When you read my writings, you'll see I use the word reasonable and periodic. What does that mean? Now, the terms are necessarily vague because we need room to interpret. We don't want to say, oh, you must do something every month or every quarter or every year. Although I do think a year is a minimum. And you look at my policy, it'll say annually at a minimum. As we interpret these terms, the way we interpret it needs to be reasonable, and that means defensible. And it is easy to think about what's unreasonable. And when we look at unreasonable extremes, we can kind of extrapolate that reasonable is going to be somewhere in between there. So here's an example of an extreme you don't want to be at. You don't want to be at 0. You don't want to be at never. So if you're never reviewing your policies, if you're never reviewing the other things that are part of cybersecurity, if people are spending 0 time on cybersecurity, that is unreasonable. So it's easy to tell we need to do more than 0. We need to do more than never. I would say annual is a minimum. It's hard to not do it annually and say you have a reasonable cybersecurity program. And you want to spend a reasonable amount of time on it. Now think about some organizations. They have people spending their full work life on cybersecurity. Obviously, no one in your organization can do that, or you would hire someone for that task. So people need to spend a reasonable amount of time on cybersecurity, and we know it has to be more than 0. It's got to be more than never. And we want to think about the organization. 4-person organization doing certain type of work, less needs than 20 per person or 100 person or 100,000 people. And think about what other organizations are doing. There are organizations doing nothing, but that is not good company to be with. As you're doing all of this, remember the goals, remember the big picture, remember the objectives, what you're working towards. And that is protect the organization, comply with legal requirements, and mission, which ties into efficiency. So let's look at this graphically. Protect from cybercrime, comply with legal requirements for cybersecurity, and that's going to include basic negligence. And I wrote a book on cyber law. I've got an article on this. And mission. If we manage our information assets well, secure them well, know what we have, we can do our mission better. When I work with organizations, I try to incorporate that into what we're doing. There's been organizations that forgot they had a LinkedIn account and are not using it. Well, we need to secure it for cybersecurity, but we can also use it to get the word out about the great work our organization's doing. Free advertising. You want to review your policy, and by this I mean your internal rule, and also review updates I may have made to my policy, my sample. So review it and review updates. You know where to find my policy. You downloaded it here in the first place, probably. My webpage looks like this. You scroll down, it'll have a version date in the text here, and click to download, click here or click here. And at the bottom, I have policy version notes. So you can see I've revised it a number of times over the years, but the revisions are relatively minor. So if it says minor updates, you don't have to go through the trouble of updating your document or downloading and approving the new one. Probably you don't, but it's nice to know and see. And when you download it, the cover page looks something like this. You can tell easily what version you're working on and what version I'm on. You want to confirm someone is in charge of cybersecurity. They need to know they are in charge, and they need to be doing their job at it. A reasonable time spent on it. What's reasonable? It's got to be more than 0. Organizations, and they say so-and-so's in charge on paper, but not really. That's meaningless. Don't do that. If someone's in charge, they have to do their job. They'll need training. It can't be their full-time job, obviously, but they have to spend a reasonable amount of time on cybersecurity every year, every quarter, every month, every week, every day, however you justify what you think is reasonable. People need to be trained, improve their knowledge and awareness. Remember, that's the first pillar of cybersecurity in my framework. This includes training managers. Managers who make decisions on behalf of the organization need to know the importance of information systems, information technology, cybersecurity. And there are people that you may have designated to have special cybersecurity roles. You should have an information security coordinator. They need special training. You might have an information governance committee to make decisions about important things relating to your IT. And you may have an incident response team who may well be the same as the information governance committee. Again, a reasonable time on training, and it can't be nothing. I have a ton of resources on my website and some on YouTube, and I'm building more out in different places. And I would suggest the policy is the first thing to train on and read. Someone once asked me, I'm new in this role as information security coordinator. I'm swamped. What should I read to help me learn? And I say, read the policy. It's written well, it's clear, and it's designed to be informative. So start there. And we'll talk about other places to read too. You're looking for improvements to your cybersecurity policy and practices also. Always look to improve. Now, you look to the policy and see what it says, and look for places where maybe you can do that better, or maybe you read it again and say, oh, we're not doing that, or we haven't done that yet. So that's a place you can start doing what you're supposed to, or do it better or with more detail. You're looking at the priority cybercrime threats, those three. Those are the ones I see people in organizations fall victim to, and that's what you want to prevent. And part of that is make sure you have backups to your data. You could restore things if there's a ransomware attack. Make sure you have multi-factor authentication, because that's an easy way for criminals to get in if you're only using passwords and not using multi-factor authentication. And remember, you have multiple things you're logging into. Some might have multi-factor authentication enabled, others might not yet. Those information asset inventories are important. We talk about it in the policy and the supplemental resources, knowing what computer devices you have, knowing what data you have, and what online accounts. This is hard to do. A lot of organizations have trouble doing it, and it's an area where you can improve, because if you don't know what you're supposed to protect, you can't protect it. And if you don't know what assets you have, you can't use them well. And protection from natural disaster and resilience. Now, all of these things I have supplemental articles on and hyperlinks to the articles in the appendix. Now, I touched on this, but sometimes people say, I only have X minutes. What should I do? Or if I have 10 minutes to spare, what do I do? And I say, read the policy. And if you've read the policy recently, read an article the policy links to. Or that's in the appendix. You could watch this video or another video. I hope to build more out. Disclaimers and warnings as before. Listen, this is free, my gift to you, so you are agreeing not to sue me. There's no cybersecurity magic, and cybercrime can devastate you. I can't guarantee you're going to be safe, and I've got more terms in the free policy and on my website. And remember, documents don't protect you. They don't put you in compliance with laws. But good documents, like the ones I provide to you, if you follow it, will help you properly manage things, your information systems and risks. And if you follow it and do what you're supposed to, that does help you comply, run the organization better, and protect against cybercrime. Some wrap-up points. It takes years to build a good cybersecurity program and to build a culture of cybersecurity and good management of information assets. As you do this each year or each quarter, it becomes more familiar, more routine. You're making more improvements. So you have a program. That's a great start. Now you need to continually improve it at a minimum of annually. If you manage things well, including your information systems, that's good for business. And my do-it-yourself program is solid, but you need to follow it. It's my gift to you. It's definitely better than nothing, especially if you can't afford other help. For a deeper understanding, I've got articles, course, books, hope to get another book out, and see this reference page. I will put them in the video description. Notably, the companion article, maintain and improve your implementation of Bandler's cybersecurity program yourself. Thanks so much for listening. Please consider subscribing or see my page, Give It Forward or Give Back. Thank you.